Hello there. Today I'd like to talk to you about allopathic or orthodox medicine, how it started and how it became the dominant healing system of the present time. It is not perfect, and it's very imperfect in a lot of places, and it doesn't like any other form of medicine. So bear with me if I give a bit of history first, and then I'll talk about the way that homeopathy is being squeezed out of this system. We live in a world of conflict, control and diminishing freedom of choice. We are all aware of the conflicts. Governments are increasing the amount of control over us by legislation and surveillance. Big business is amalgamating and swallowing up smaller rivals, thus giving us less and less choice. The driving force of the multinational, and that includes the drug companies, is profit. Within this scenario is the world of allopathic medicine, which demands loyalty to its scientific healing system. Any other system of medicine that does not conform to the orthodox model is heresy and should be severely dealt with and stamped out. This brings to mind the Inquisition of the mid-1500s, where the established authorities could not integrate the Copernican heliocentric theory of the solar system into their rigid dogma, and any opposition, such as Galileo, were tortured and imprisoned. We now accept Copernicus' theory as the truth. Today the methods are more subtle and just as damaging. Ethnic cleansing. A definition of ethnic cleansing is to eliminate a population from the homeland in order to create a more secure, ethnically homogeneous state. This involves the removal of the targeted group through threat, humiliation, defamation, and fake and twisted data. So for homeland, you now read allopathic and science medicine, and for population, read homeopathy. These methods also apply to all complementary medicine. In the 19th century, orthodox medicine emerged from other healing systems by claiming superiority and consequent authority of the biochemical model and its special relationship to laboratory science. Healing was further dehumanized by the belief that human beings could be known and controlled if they were conceived as machines. People, like clocks, could be understood if they were broken down into components to be studied. The mind and body were conceived as having no relationship to each other. Today we have specialists for every one of those parts, and we can even take parts from one person and transplant them into another person. However, apart from the immune suppressant drugs that have to be taken for life, there is the fact that the donor organ has DNA and the characteristics of the donor, and this can have an effect on the recipient. The orthodox system has gradually replaced medicine based on the materia medica of vegetable and animal origin with complex chemical drugs, and they devised their own gold standard for safety and efficiency study for new drugs, which is the double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled trial. However, during these trials, all these new drugs show side effects, and the pharma companies have a history of excluding from their data side effects which compromise sales. In fact, iatrogenic illness, disease caused by the side effects of these drugs, is now the fourth leading cause of death in the world. How many deaths, I ask, have been attributed to homeopathy? Yet the paradox is, this gold standard is used by the opponents of homeopathy to test homeopathic remedies, for which it was never designed. With all this testing, the pharma companies have never tested drugs on children, and in consequence there are no specific doses for children, because it is not cost effective for the pharma companies to do so. So doctors have to guess the dosage based on body weight. The orthodox system tests its drugs on animals. Note the recent Northwick Park tragedy, which shows the fallacy of transposing animal data to humans. The effectiveness of homeopathic remedies was proved and is being proved on fit humans with no dramatic side effects. The orthodox system uses the herd principle, one symptom, one drug. Never mind about the rest of the person. Note the amount of drugs elderly persons are prescribed. This principle applies to vaccinations for children. Every child must have the prescribed number of jabs ignoring the possible side effects on an immature immune system. Homeopathy then deals with the whole person as an individual. The orthodox system refuses to accept anecdotal evidence and chooses to ignore Chinese, Ayurvedic, herbal medicine, acupuncture, aromatherapy and homeopathy. Some of these healing systems have been in existence for thousands of years with probably millions of healed patients. But orthodox medicine? Don't want to know. Allopathic medicine does not have all the answers with all their expertise and finances. It has no remedy for the common cold, Parkinson's, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, lupus, HIV/AIDS, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, Alzheimer's and of course cancer. Antipsychotic drugs are only palliative, causing untold misery for many patients who react to the side effects, but untold riches for the pharma companies. Built into the grand plan of human nature is the capacity to become ill, but also the capacity to heal. Homeopathy is a unique treatment that recognizes this, and when a person is diseased, it means that those different levels of consciousness, the mind, the emotions, the spirit and the physical, that make up that person as a whole being have become out of balance. Homeopathy has remedies that regulate the body's vital force to orchestrate coordinated healing response throughout the body. So why is allopathic medicine so afraid of homeopathy? Why is there now this worldwide unrelenting vicious attack on homeopathy? Possibly because the closed minds of the doctors and scientists cannot accept that any treatment that cannot be proved scientifically is capable of healing a human being. They still have the mindset of the Middle Ages. Are they worried that homeopathy will be the next generation of healing? Research into nanotechnology has shown that a substance changes activity the smaller it becomes. Nanoparticles have a higher surface to volume ratio, and with a larger surface area they become more reactive. Is it possible that the process of succession used in homeopathy creates these nanoparticles? Which is why orthodox equipment cannot find the elusive molecule which they all seem to feel is necessary to justify the condemnation of homeopathy. I am therefore extremely worried at the professionalism and mental competence of a group of eminent professors and scientists led by Professor Michael Baum, when they denounce homeopathy through the media as witchcraft, hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo, crackpot medicine and irrational superstition. By embarking along the route of ethnic cleansing and irrational outbursts, they are insulting the intelligence of their patients as though we are stupid enough to fall for their rhetoric. Also, I was so angry when this eminent group took it upon themselves to write to all the NHS primary care trusts demanding that they stop funding homeopathy because it hasn't been proved scientifically. And this would save money for orthodox treatments. This letter has resulted in the trust withdrawing funding from the homeopathic hospitals, leaving patients without treatment unless they go privately. Have these men not an ounce of compassion or consideration? They are leaving these patients high and dry at a critical time in their treatment. The amount of money supposedly saved pales into insignificance when you consider the cost of cancer treatment supplied to Professor Brown's patients. Chemotherapy can cost £30,000. Cancer drugs can cost in the region of £1,600 per month. Yet, he says, homeopathic companies are making a fortune marketing placebos, when the pharmaceutical companies can make a profit of £8 billion on a turnover of £23 billion. That is only from one company. What about all the rest? I would like to know what homeopathic company makes that sort of money. I would like to think that all systems of medicine can cooperate and integrate for the benefit of ill people. However, allopathic medicine seems to be motivated by financial greed and rigid dogma, and is set on the path of ethnic cleansing, whatever the consequences. It is a sad fact that in war, and especially in the medicine war, people are expendable. It is unacceptable that drugs contribute to casualties. Finally, the orcs did not conquer Middle Earth.